Hello, welcome to the overview of the General Purpose Viewer or GPV. In this tutorial, we'll just show you some of the functionality that this program will have. First, of course, we're going to log in through Compass. Once there, we'll go to the architectural screen and say, let's run a search for the Sullivan-esque style. All this should be very familiar for you. Now you'll see that all of our resources have a small map button next to them. So if you hit the map button, it's going to take you to the GPV. You're going to have to log in again, but you log in only the first time you try to access the GPV in any given session, and it's just your regular Compass login. You'll see now that it has zoomed us right into 5DV 137. There's basic information shown below in the Summary tab, Architecture tab, and the Document tab. On the Summary tab, you can look at the form, site form or nomination if it has been scanned. You can see here that for 5DV 137 it has been. Note that automatically opens in a new browser window. You can also always get access on the Summary tab to the Compass record. That's the way you came in, but maybe you've decided you want to look at a different site and you'll be able to see them all again, or always access the Compass record. So there are many ways to increase the scale of the map. So where were we? We were, if you zoom out, you'll see that we were in the heart of Denver. But what are we looking at? So on the Legend tab, it will show you what the different symbols and colors mean. You can see the orange striped ones are National Register sites, the yellow striped ones, all right down in there, are State Register sites, and then everything else is just purple in color. The surveys are blue. Right now we're going to turn off all the information that we don't really need, and that should make the GPV perform better. Once you select what you don't want, you do need to hit the refresh map for your changes to take place. Now we're going to go back to the Selection tab, and we're going to clear all of our selections and zoom in a new area. It's not really new, it's still downtown Denver. And then we'll show you what you can do with the Identify tool. So the Identify tool, if you hover over, will give you the name, the site number and the name. And if you click on it, it gives you a little bit more information. We're working on populating that to have everything that's on the Summary tab. So the blue button will select everything that's in our view. You can see there are 204 records selected. And if we choose 5DV 10389, we go to the Summary tab, you'll see that's what it looks like if no form has been scanned. You'll just get that little message. There are a few ways to filter the data within the GPV, and they are related to the drop-down tables in the upper right corner. The trick to remembering how these work is to read it like a sentence. So this search becomes to select the sites in Zone 13 that are contributing to an existing district. Now you'll notice that there are only 24 records selected, a slightly brighter orange. You can also view these with different backgrounds. Now we'll take a look at the aerial view. And your selections are still there, but you will have to reset the legend if you so wish. And again, that's going to make the GPV work faster, so it's probably a good thing to do. Always have to hit refresh the map. Okay, and other filters that you can apply would be, well, we'll clear our selected features now. And then we're going to apply another one. We're going to find all of the sites in Zone 13 that are within half a mile of, say, the highways. As you can see, a highway is running through the bottom of our map. This one takes a bit of time as it is searching the entire length of the highway. First, it will return the number of records, and then you will see the buffered half mile. There are 999 records because there is a limit of returning only less than 1,000 sites. If we zoom out, you will see the light purple buffer along Colfax, and all of the selected sites within it are in that bright orange. Next, we'll zoom back in and look for a specific site. Here we are zooming in by going to the list of records on the right-hand side of the menu. And scroll down because we're now in Denver, but it's showing Arapahoe sites. We're going to scroll down to 5DV 137. And if we double click on that, it will center us. Takes it a little bit of time, but it will zoom to the record. Now that's 5DV 137. So another way to zoom out is to use the scale function. Although it shows feet, the distances actually displayed in the GPV are in meters. So you'll see that if we zoom out to 500 feet, we'll be back in downtown Denver where we started from. So now, why don't we look at the topography of Denver? We'll select the topography tab, and we're going to go in and clear all of our selected features. And then if we move out a little bit, we'll see that the topography in Denver is boring. So another way you can move around the map is through the location tab. Now that shows the entire state. We're in Denver where that little red dot is. And I'm going to move over here and click and recenter our map to Leadville where the topography is much more interesting. Use the hand to center yourself. There we are in Leadville. Now other things you can do is let's move to the ownership tab. And if we go to the legend, we can see what all those pretty colors mean. We're also gonna turn on the principal meridian, township, range, and section. And when we refresh our map, you'll be able to see that Leadville partially falls within Township 9 South, 80 West, Section 23 and 24. The interactive tab has all of the data that we have for the GPV. But as a warning, if you turn it all on, it will slow the GPV down to a crawl. So right now, we'll just turn on the cities. Refresh the map, and now you can see Leadville is purple. So from here, we can go to the little globe in the far left-hand side of the map, and it will show us the entire state of Colorado. So if you know where you're working in the state, you can just go down and zoom to it. So now we're in La Junta. We'll go back to the selection, and we're going to get rid of that. So we're going to just select all in the view. You'll see we have 44 sites in La Junta. We'll go back to the aerial tab. And now we're going to look at the markup. So what the markup does is allows you to annotate the map. We're going to draw an area that we're interested in and add some text. Maybe we want to send this to someone and we'll say that it is a potential district or proposed district. Things to be aware of are your annotations will show up in the list for others to view. So if you're working on something that's top secret, you're going to want to remember to delete it at the end of your session. So things that do show up, other projects that you've worked on, if you double click on that, it will zoom you into it. You can see here there was a proposed district, but it was slightly smaller than the one that I just drew. So I'm going to delete this one because it turns out I got more information and they wanted to go with a larger district. So by double clicking, I'm back to my expanded district. You can save your annotated maps as either images or KML files. You can get more information on how to do these and the results of saving as a KML in the Communicating with Others video in GPV. Remember to delete if you don't want people to see what you've been working on. So now we're going to zoom out and get a better view of La Junta again. We'll select all, and then you can send the information to a spreadsheet. So right now we're working on getting all the information that you see on the summary tab into a spreadsheet. You just hit OK, it's going to download it, and you'll see it will populate those 43 records, 44 because it has headers. So that will be a way you can get the data out. Now we've been neglecting the surveys, so why don't we go back to our markup and delete my top secret proposed district. And now we're going to turn the surveys back on. And you can see that everything that I've just shown you, how you can do with the sites, you can do with the surveys as well. Except you have to change it to surveys. Zone 13, we'll select all in view. You can see how they're highlighted in a lovely yellow color, and you can pick one you're interested in, and it will tell you a little bit of information about that survey. So now, just in case you'd like to bring this into the field with you, we've made it an app. I've tried it on both my phone and an iPad, and the phone is small, but it does work. So we're going to click our aerial. That's how we'd like to see the information, the background, and you'll see that it has zoomed us into where we were on the desktop. Now, I wasn't actually in La Junta when I did this. If you hit the Locate tab, you're going to have to share your location, and it will center you on your current location. I'm zooming out a bit. You can see that, yes, I indeed was in the History Colorado Center when I made this video. And you'll see that that bears out where I was. You don't get as much information, but again, you can always view the Compass record where you can see more information on the sites. So now we're gonna go back to the desktop, which will take us back to La Junta. And I'd be remiss if I did not talk about the help. So there is quite extensive help that you can access right from the desktop, and it really is quite good. It just doesn't use our data, but it walks through everything that I've shown you in this video, and it walks through or talks about everything that you'll see in any of the other videos that have been recorded. So in a nutshell, that's it. We hope you like it, and if you have more specific questions, see some of the more specific tutorials. Thank you.